Well, yes, indeed. We'll be talking about the developments in River State as a result of the elections. As we've seen some of the front pages highlighting the unfortunate scenario there. But let's go over to Nya-Etok, who is the resident electoral commissioner in Rivers. He joins us this morning. Good morning, and thank you for joining us today. Let's get some updates in terms of how these elections are played out, because first and foremost, unfortunately, a youth court member is said to have died. What were the circumstances surrounding his death, if you could start with that?
Well, actually, it happens from our findings. It happens after the election, but on the eve of the elections, the tension in town was quite high, and they were returning home from the field when they shot into the group. I think they said there were 3. The other ones ran away. This one was gunned down, and so NYC later found the body. One was missing, which I'm told have resurfaced now. One ran away. The other one ran to report, and so on. I think that's just and it's very, very sad. And we sympathize with the family, the NYC, and Nigeria as a whole.
I'm sorry, sir, but you didn't quite say the circumstances. Was he involved in conflict? You said the tension was high in town, and it was after elections. Was he on his way back to the Electoral Commission? Under what circumstances precisely?
He had completed his assignment. And he was on his way back home. From the report we had, he was on. There were a group of coppers going back home when they met with the assassins who decided to shoot on them. There were a lot of shooting in town and so on. So we cannot actually ascertain whether they were marked out to be killed or it was just the issue of killing people around and so on, and they ran into it.
So they had completed their assignment as ad hoc members of staff, and they were going back to their houses.
They were going back home. Since the core members recruited for the exercise were recruited from the same local government that they are doing their primary assignments. So it was easy for them when you finish to then go back to where you stay.
Okay. As a result of that, is INEC taking any other precautions to ensure that core members are safe?
Yeah, that was the reason. Immediately we got that news, because we got it late on Sunday, and the incident of some of our staff, we decided to keep the election on hold. That was when INEC now issued a statement asking for all those who were involved in the elections, so for us to at least audit our materials. That was why we said that we put the election on hold until we finish doing all these things. That was a preliminary measure to save life, because at that time some of our people were still in the trains. They were still in a process of taking materials or being at the position of trying to access the collation centers and so on. So we knew that their lives were in danger. So we decided that the best thing to do was to save life and ask everybody to now at least take to safety, so that we can actually know what was going on, the number of casualties and all that, before coming back to the issue of the elections. That was the excellent. That was the reason behind the statement that all activities have been put on hold and so on after the releasing of the 9 results.
You know, when it comes to security matters like this, I know you're not the commissioner of police. We should also get back to speaking with the police on this one, excuse me. But are you aware of any kind of special protection for core members? Because if they were moving in groups, it then means that they should have been given some form of protection until they get to their place of rest.
Well, generally, every Nigerian is supposed to be protected. And like this set of persons, well, they have completed their work, returned their materials as it's done. And so many of them were going home. In terms of protection, I think we should protect ourselves. That is what I mean there is that if you want to share policemen to every person that is involved in election, you may not be able to have all. That means that our community, our leaders, our people should be able to protect one another. Situations where an innocent corps member, having completed a national assignment, was going on and it's gone down, and so on. Then we'll talk. There's no way we will say that every corps member that is going home would have gone with a policeman. Or even those who went with policemen were also shot. Like the case of our Eagle. He was in a convoy of soldiers and policemen when he was attacked and driven into the bush to be killed, only to be served by Fulani huntsmen who he ran to meet in the bush. If he did not meet those persons, that I believe that God provided those persons to save his life. If that did not happen, he would have been a dead man by now. But he had a convoy of soldiers and policemen. So sometimes when we talk about this, I believe that security is not only the uniform. I think it is also necessary that we also protect those who stays with us. These people were killed in the community that they stay, and this guy was killed in the community that he stays and is rendering a national service.
Well, part of what happened, because political parties are also blaming INEC of complicity in some of the things that happened. First, it's got to do with what they referred to as the fake ballot papers. And they say that, and then what they said was your response was that you had instructed the EOs to countersign some of those documents, and when it was not done, they thought it was fake.
No. It is not so. It is not so. People should listen to the statement made. There was not one fake or paper in the field. There was none. But there were some, these materials were produced and customized within the short period that the election was ordered by the courts. And there were some originals that the watermark was not clear. And to make people to be comfortable with it, we asked the EO that in where you have an original that the watermark was not clear, sign it. But when he started signing, the whole people said he has to sign. Conditions that were impossible. He had to withdraw all from the field to sign. These are the issues that we need to look at. The truth was that there was no way you could withdraw all the resources, whether he had a watermark or not, to be signed. And we explained this. A group will say yes, another group will say no, and so on. So you have this situation. So what will INEC have done in such situation? Go to the field, to 4,442 polling units to withdraw results and sign?
Yeah, but Parliament to button. When you say you explain this,
that there were no watermark, I said in these ones that because it was noticed in the package, when you are sharing, sign these ones. And before it was noticed, material had already gone to the field because it may have been noticed in 2 or 3 packages. All the other packages that they didn't notice had gone to the field. Now people said no, election cannot continue until you withdraw the ones from the field.
So can we infer then that INEC did not know that that was the situation? Because you say when it was noticed, materials had already gone to the field.
Timberlake, let us be practical. You have quantums of material and you are sharing them. This one gives and so there was no mistake in any. Then as you are sharing, maybe in your last package, you now find that one of it did not have the watermark. And people said, no, this one is fake. We said, no, it's not fake. Look at the serial number and so on. And they keep arguing. I said, okay, authenticate it. Now people now say, oh, if you are authenticating this one, those ones that had the watermark which you have sent to the field, would draw them and authenticate. This is the point that I want us to understand.
All right. Does it then mean that while the materials were delivered to INEC, whoever delivered it did not notify INEC that some of them had that situation?
The materials were not open. You must also take your mind back that if these materials that were brought came open, that is the same public will say we have tampered with it. So these materials came sealed. Nobody saw them. So this is printing. It's a simple thing in a community, in an environment that we look at election as civil thing, and in the environment that we are willing to conduct election, that we do, willing to participate in election. You will not even have all these things.